Hi, my name is Shannon. I am a semi professional astrologer. I've only made money off of this so many times, but I'm self taught for 20 years. And today we're going to talk about Saturn and Taurus. I appreciate your watching. Please press all the buttons. It does something, I'm sure. Besides the point, Saturn and Taurus, we are going to be getting into some really cool topics. It's going to be a very interesting time period. I am looking forward to it in this regard. Uh, as some of you know, I'm doing this series because I get asked a lot of questions and from all kinds of different, every walk of life. I get questions all the time about astrology specifically, but I also know palmistry and tarot. If you want anything individual, please reach out. I can do a free session if it is recorded for me to post. Saturn and Taurus is interesting because a lot of things are going to be in the home. So I've spoke about the other planets in this series, but when it comes to this time period, all of the new things that we've started, all the new technologies, all the new ways of doing things, it's like society as an entirety has decided to go back to grassroots with Saturn and Taurus. I'm typically hit or miss with Saturn and Taurus just because Taurus is so stubborn and so set in their ways. For those of you who don't know, this time period is going to be taking place from early 2028 to mid 2030. So that's when a lot of the other planets are going to be kind of at their middle ground, and we're going to be seeing all of these like large society scale things in the home now. And it's like we go further into a hole, but it's healthier for us, if that makes sense. It's going to be a very interesting piece moment in history to see, because a lot of the bigger corporate things, if they're not already fallen, they will start to. It's like the giant on the beanstalk that falls down. Like it's too big and it's gonna die. And if it's not the end, we're at least going towards that. So that's on like the big picture scale, right? As summed up as I can make it, because Taurus is very big events. Tauruses are usually very large people. They have large personalities and they're homebodies. Saturn being that wisdom and rigidness. Saturn is so old. And with Taurus, it's just going to be like, we're going to go back to, especially all the other newness, like all the other planets and these really mental, fiery signs. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. There's semi-sextiles happening to the planets that are in Aries and Gemini. So learning and those are learning, teaching things. On a more personalized level, you may find more technology in the home. You may find more medical equipment in the home because Taurus is about what we value. And I feel like with some of these other placements, we're gonna slowly start valuing our health more. And Taurus is the nose and the sinuses. So it could there may have something to do with that. I know masks are pretty normalized now. I don't know if what's going to happen there, but I know that that comes into play during this time period. Uh, if you do experience, if you're somebody who regularly experiences allergies, then they may get significantly worse, or anything, nose related if it hits really hard in your chart, which I can look into. I'm not doing anything individualized right now. I'm talking about Saturn and Taurus, the negative side of Saturn and Taurus. Part of the reason why I say hit or miss is because it may be difficult to get somebody out of their home, to get people that are like really into themselves may go like full recluse, and you still want to maintain some version of society. So this may be a time where we have more coming together. I really do see this particular alignment during this time period a good thing. But in history, Saturn and Taurus really becomes about the homeland and the motherland, and traveling is not on their radar. I'm biased about it because it can be so very set in its ways, because Saturn is already very rigid and Taurus can just drive it home. And because they can be such loud, it's like, this is the right thing to, like, yes, we get it, but hammering it home to some people, especially with all the other fire and air stuff going on, I don't want it to cause like mega rifts between earth and fire signs. You see what I'm saying? Because those dynamics and those relationships, because of we were talking about Saturn and Aries in the last video, is about me, I. Saturn and Taurus is almost like, you're making me uncomfortable. It's still selfish to a degree, but it's also very stuck on like, this is the thing. Like, if you think you're right and you're actually wrong, you may really stick it in that you're right. And like, and Taurus isn't usually considered delusional. It's a different type of mental illness. And Tauruses have ambition that is very unrealized. It's like they think they have all these ambitions and things, and they get very disappointed. So it's an interesting time. For the most part, I see it positively. I view it positively. And maybe that's just my nature. Maybe that's just my bias. But that time period for the home, for your values, for technology specifically coming into the home, because they're with Pluto in Aquarius and with Uranus at that time, it's going to be in Gemini. It's going to be really actively interesting. And I am really looking forward to seeing what technology is going to keep us kind of homebound, but that it's like we're also becoming less connected with each other on a global scale, because we need to be more grassroots, which is that Saturn and Taurus. Like, maybe we're growing more things, but the Aquarius and Gemini energy, I don't, and there's even Neptune is going to be in Aries, so I don't really see things growing, but it may become like a whole operation. It's going to be very interesting and very telling. I think solar power is going to be more predominant during that time. And I think we're going to take a pretty giant leap forward. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace out, fam. Love.